Morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well and find yourself in high spirits. Yesterday, I watched a movie from Mexico's golden era of cinema, La Época de Oro. And I hope to start watching one every week. I get up real early in the morning. My family's not up, so that's probably when I'll watch it. Although I'll probably ask my kids to watch them with me, help improve their Spanish and give them some context of what Mexico used to be like. So the movie I watched was Nosotros, los Pobres, which translates to us, the poor ones. And the way it starts is these two little kids are digging through a garbage can and they find a book titled Nosotros los Pobres, and they open it, and each time they turn the page, it's the credits in the beginning, and then there's like this preface that books have, and in it, you read that the intent of the book, the movie actually, is to give an accurate portrayal of personalities that exist in all poor barrios in every big urban area, is how it's written. And so I thought, ooh, this is a movie from the 50s and 60s, or, the 60s. It's still black and white movie. They didn't have color movies then. And so I thought, oh, this is a movie from that era. Let's see what kind of similarities I can find in this 60s Mexican movie to the condition of, barrios today in every great urban area. And when I say barrio, I mean ethnic enclave, not a gang. The B version, as, CT explained. Um, and so that said, I started watching it. And one of the things that really stood out to me was the slang they used. A lot of it was slang I always assumed was calo. And calo is a mixture of Spanish and English and slang that is used by Mexican Americans, Chicanos here in the United States for the most part. And when I came, my family was immigrants, and there was some separation between the immigrant community and the Chicano community. Not a lot, but there was this classism there, if you will. And I know that the immigrants sometimes thought not necessarily the Chicanos, but the Cholo culture was going to lead to trouble. And sometimes parents were not supportive of that. And I remember, if I said something like Simon or Orale, my mom would be like, why are you talking like that? We don't talk like that. And it turns out we do. Because in the movie, these little kids, they're in Mexico. There was not even one iota, not any hint of any Cholo culture in this movie. It was Mexico as I remember it as a little kid, and even before that. I mean, there's no seeming connection to anything gang related or the like. But in the movie, there is a lot of suffering. It's funny, they have this one character. This woman's hot, and she flirts, and they call her the woman who wakes up late. And I always told my kids, hey, we're Mexican, we got to get up early. And I know my Americanized relatives, when I go to their house, they slept in, and I'm up at friggin' 6 in the morning. And because it's not my house, I don't want to just make myself at home and start doing stuff. So I would just lay there for friggin' hours until everybody woke up at noon. And I'm not saying that's everybody, but to me, I was like, oh, my more Americanized relatives sleep in late. And the less Americanized ones, they're up at 6 in the morning. And I'm not saying that's everybody or trying to stereotype or anything. That was just a character they had, the woman who sleeps in late. And there was bad connotations to her for doing that. So I thought that was interesting. And, back to my other point, throughout the movie, I heard, kids and people say, You want to go do this, Simon? And then like, hey, we're gonna go do this, orale. And then, oh no, mi jefecita. And um, and then what was the other one? There was another one that was real. That's used commonly today, but was used in the movie. And so, anyways, what really surprised me was how much slang people use today, almost exclusively in you know in Chicano culture, Chicano slang, and even prison culture. Um, these words were being used in the '60s in the barrios of Mexico. Not all of them, but a lot of them, or some of them, at the time, and that really, really like blew me away because I always thought it was Galo, and you know what? It might have been because there could have been at the time they had a guy Tintan who was a zoot suitor, so they could have been borrowing from some of the culture that was developing to the north of Mexico by descendants of Mexicans. The movie didn't seem to hint at any of that though. Just they had the slang, and then the other part is, one of the lead characters is framed and he goes to prison. Um, and I don't want to give too much away because I do recommend these movies. It was such a amazing storyline. The ending is like it's got a good plot twist, and the sense I got is that it was not trying to give you a happy ending, but just a slice of what life was for people in this poor barrio in Mexico. Um, and I'll probably watch it again with my kids because I thought it was such a good movie. I'll be honest, I cried through a lot of the movie, especially towards the end. I get I get emotional to see other people's human suffering, and even if it's in a movie, I know that a lot of people have similar experiences, and and one of them is I can't tell you because it gives away that plot twist, but I did find a lot of similarities between life in a poor barrio then, life in a poor barrio now. The biggest difference I saw there, and and I've seen it in poor communities. Maybe I'm not seeing it as much now. And that was that everybody helped everybody in that barrio. If these little kids were sad or something, the local wino from the neighborhood, or the poor, like you know for lack of a better word, homeless person. In Mexico, they weren't called homeless. It was just different. But these street denizens were. They would go up to the little kids and be like, "Hey, don't be sad. Life will be good." And the kids would be like, "Well, it's because of this." And he's like, "Oh, your family loves you." And then the little kid would hug, these street, you know, denizens. I mean, and I'm not talking about like the criminal element. I'm talking about like, they have these two ladies that are just drunk all the time. They got guys that, maybe don't have a lot going on, but in the movie, everybody in the neighborhood knew everybody and everybody talked to everybody, and it didn't matter if you didn't have a lot. You could still dispense advice to kids on how to stay away from the wrong path. That was the one thing I saw in the movie that I don't see today, is the sense of unity across social economic classes. So that said, again, the movie was Nosotros los Pobres, Us the Poor Ones. It's from Mexico's golden era. Um, and I recommend it. It was a really good movie. What, again, stood out for me the most was the just a lot of the slang that's used today in this old black and white Mexican movie where everybody has sombreros, um, dresses in the style of the 60s. It was old Mexico. And I thought that was interesting. That said, I hope you all have a good day. Um, Next Saturday, I'll watch. I think it's Macario who tries to cheat death at the recommendation of one of the comments on a video I posted. Um, so I'll check that out, and thank you to the sub who suggested it. I did look for it and I couldn't find it because I think I was spelling it Mercurio, and everything for Mercury was coming up, and it's Macario, I think. So I'll watch that one next time and then give my take on it and recommend it. I give Nosotros, Los Pobres a 9 out of 10. It was really good, and I'm gonna learn about, like, I mentioned that's part of my culture, but I haven't seen all the movies, and if I got the time, I think just every week I'm gonna knock one out until I am well versed in the movies of Mexico. And I don't beat my chest about ethnic pride. It's not something I do, but I do love the culture, and I think rather than beat my chest and tell everybody how proud of it I am, I'll just watch the movies and learn more about it and love it more. Um, that's how I'll do it. So, anyways, I hope you all have a good one again. I hope you have a blessed day. Much love.